Channel 8 is your station for the best sports coverage in Tampa Bay.
Lead or a tie game, and here comes Johnson. Fed it on a cross. He scores!
We've got all the big-time teams covered. The Buccaneers, the Rays, and of course, the Lightning.
Moved on with it. Got it to Gerke, and it drives up.
Super Sports Sunday starts right now.
Shot deep to right and gone.
Oh boy, Paul, Big Papi never leaves any doubt when he gets a hold of one.
Hey, free baseball.
that one snuck into the outfield concourse at the Trop. You're buying some Cracker Jacks and this ball rolls and hits you in the thigh. It's Papi's.
Those beers are like $8 a piece, man. I hope it didn't spill one.
Exactly. I think it's $8. That's cheap. Major League Baseball.
I got it from a secondhand guy that had a big drum of it. That's Dan Lucas. I'm Paul Ryan. Welcome to Super Sports Sunday. The Red Sox take 2 out of 3 from the Rays.
Yeah, Rays had to try and win this series today. I saw, what do we see the stat? 1-6 now against
Chris
Boston
Archer
this
against
season.
the Sox.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So let's go out to the Trop where Chris Archer, he recovered from that so-so outing in D.C. Today pitched okay, except the batters got into the mistakes, as he called them there. Slider to Pablo Sandoval, and that one's over the fence in a hurry for a 1-0 lead. Archer able to chuckle about that one, but we're still in the second inning, Paul, and Alejandro De Aza gets a hold of one now.
He had good stuff all day, except when he had bad stuff.
Exactly. Speaking of good stuff, Big Papi, I've seen him hit it over the catwalks off that back wall. This one not quite as far, but there it goes down into the old 148 concourse. 2-run shot. 4-0 at this point. You're thinking, uh-oh, this could be a blowout. But here comes Asdrubal Cabrera. An RBI machine driving in Brandon Guyer. It's 4-1. We go to 7th inning now. It's 5-1. Cabrera going to drive in Guyer again.
A little bit of history repeating.
Yeah, exactly. And Jackie Bradley Jr. bobbling the ball around until Cabrera winds up on third. He goes 3 for 5. 2 RBIs. It's not enough, though. The Red Sox get the win, 5-3.
I thought Arch was really good. 6 innings, 10 punch-outs, 5 hits. The home run just kind of beat us up a little bit, but I didn't think anything less than that. Arch was really good.
It stinks because my goal is a team win every time, and I felt like I had good stuff, but good hitters capitalize on pitches that weren't well executed.
All right, 10 strikeouts today. I mean, that's a good outing, period. And he's had a number of those double-digit outings. He's one of the elite pitchers in all of baseball. But as happened to him in D.C. A couple of starts ago, a couple of mistakes, 2 or 3 pitches, and that's the score.
And suddenly the game gets away from you like that.
Exactly.
I mean, you heard what Cash said. He had a pretty good game. He had control of his stuff. Archer was a little quiet at his locker after the game.
Right.
When asked about those pitches, he said, of course they were mistakes. Of course I wish I could have them back. But, hey, 10 strikeouts is 10 strikeouts. It means free subs for the folks at the Trop, right?
There you go.
Go get your 6-inch from Subway.
Here's some more of Archer's comments after an outing that really wasn't that bad, but it's a loss.
The positives were I commanded my pitches just like I have every other game. Sometimes they capitalize on mistakes more frequently than others. I've actually never pitched in a game like I had tonight, or I've never had the outcome I've had tonight where I'm pretty much commanding my stuff and give up that many runs and then have that many strikeouts. Moving on from here, I didn't pitch bad. I just made a couple mistakes and they capitalized. That's what big league hitters do.
Archer is trying to pick up his 10th win of the season, which would have tied him for the AL lead, but he's going to have to wait until his next start to do that. Here's an interesting stat for you, Dan. 1-6 against the Red Sox over the course of Chris Archer's career. 11-4 against every other AL East opponent.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter if the Sox are in last place. He just can't beat them.
The Red Sox, it's just a thorn to the Rays this season here and also at Fenway Park. But Rays still being competitive, all the changes, all the injuries. We're going to talk a little bit more in a little bit here about Matt Moore coming back possibly this Thursday, so things are starting to change. But what about Grady Sizemore
Talk
today?
about reinforcements.
Comes in, welcome to the club. You're in the lineup. You're batting number 2, and he delivers. A big day for him, 3 for 5, same as Cabrera.
Yeah, no stage fright for Sizemore. Pretty face boy, just shows up at the Trop and decides to mash some baseballs. He said that he just fits right in with the group. He said his first impressions of these guys is just that they were pretty tight-knit. They have a pretty tight ship. They know how to win, despite the fact that it's a roster of no-names right now with everyone on the DL.
I like the fact that Sizemore he's hungry. And the Rays have a tradition of grabbing guys on the comeback from injury. Sizemore, double knee injury, essentially. One time, one of the fastest guys in the game. And he wants to be in here. Let's hear a little bit about Kevin Cash talking about Grady Sizemore and also as Drupal Cabrera.
That's not an easy thing to do. He came in, has good at-bats. We probably anticipated that he was going to have some really good at-bats. But to come in and get 3 hits, I think he got, was nice. Nice boost for us. And, you know, that ball he hit, even the ball that he hit the deep center, he barreled that up. Cabby also, you know, Cabby seems like he's swinging the bat pretty well, seeing the ball a little bit better. That's good to see. But, you know, it just wasn't quite enough today.
All right, Paul. The loss, of course, meant we were scoreboard watching because the Rays tried to hang on to that division lead, a half game over the Yankees. They were in Houston today, 7th inning, 1-1. Evan Gattis
That's
to
gone.
the gap there. Yeah, in that ballpark, it's gone.
Run.
Carlos Correa trots in. Gattis winds up on third. Astros win it 3-1, keeping the Rays a half game ahead of the Yankees.
They had that on in the clubhouse. Everyone watching that game. Another one we had our eyes on tonight, Orioles and Indians playing a doubleheader. We pick it up for game 1. 3rd inning, Jimmy Paredes. That's not Spanish for parade, is it? Because he's about to parade around the base
Parading
pass.
the bases.
That's a 2-run shot. Ubaldo Jimenez, haven't heard that name in a while. 8 innings, no runs on 4 hits, 4-zip. The Birds win it. They go on to win the nightcap, too. So that means the AL East is just a total mess
It's a virtual tie now atop the AL East between the Rays and the Baltimore Orioles. So the Rays taking on Cleveland tomorrow. It's going to fly in late tonight. So
there's a whole lot of baseball left to play, Dan, and there's a whole lot left of the show.
Exactly. We're just getting warmed up on Super Sports Sunday.
Yeah, when we come back, do you trust Jameis Winston on Twitter this season, Bucs fans? I wouldn't let him run my account. We'll check in on the Bucs rookie quarterback summer activities next.
The player I'm most looking forward to playing in has to be probably J.J. Watt. We played him week 3 in Houston, I believe. It's going to be a fun matchup.
That's wrong. Don't say that. He'll kill you.
It's the clip that had the national media all up in arms, Paul. Bucs quarterback Jameis Winston. He was answering a question. Who do you look forward to playing against this most this season? I don't have a problem with what he said, quite honestly. He's not calling out J.J. Watt. I think he's giving him the guy respect. He's the best defensive player in the game.
Under what circumstance do you want to play against the best defensive player in the league?
What is he going to name a Falcons guy just to keep it in the division? I mean,
can you name a Falcons guy?
It's the best defensive. No.
Jameis has been saying a lot of funny stuff this week. While attending the NFL's rookie symposium, Winston volunteered to act out in a skit where a family member says he wants to smoke marijuana in Winston's car. And Winston says, "I'm trying to make millions, dog," in a true life imitates art sort of moment.
Well, he's going to make millions.
Yeah,
that I can tell you. One thing Jameis has promised, he's just going to do his thing and let actions speak for him. Now, social media was a topic this week at the NFL Rookie Symposium outside of Cleveland. This is Winston at a Play 60 event at the symposium. Very interesting. The Bucs are not controlling Winston when it comes to social media. He's on his own and ready to prove himself to the public.
I mean, social media helps you in so many ways from a positive standpoint. I can't control what people put on social media about me, but I can control my actions and what I do.
All right, here's the issue. Jameis took a beating over the crab leg photo on Twitter and later said, listen, it was a thank you to the deadliest catch captain who sent him. I believe that. But it's the thinking when you send that out, how is it going to be perceived? That's the problem.
My problem is he doesn't follow either of us. Stick around. Coming up on Super Sports Sunday.
Jabu, 9 new players join the Lightning. We're going to talk about the Pulse Draft Hall. Plus, no love for the commish, Paul. Gary Bettman left hanging on the handshake line. Can't wait to see that.
Tampa trades this pick, number 28, to the New York Islanders for picks number 33 and 72 in this year's draft.
Spit it out, Bettman. The NHL commissioner having a tough time off the mic, too. Check this out. He gets snubbed on the handshake. Gotcha. Senators pick Colin White. Some for you, some for you, and no soup for you, Gary. Well, you don't have to shake my hand anyway. He's the one that signs your checks. Have some respect, kid.
He's like a Seinfeld episode sometimes, Gary Bettman. You and him got along well during the playoffs.
He's about this tall.
Well, that's why he got missed.
He's not watching. He's not going to be mad at me. The Tampa Bay Lightning have a bit of a champagne problem, as in, I have too much champagne.
Not a problem.
That's not really a problem.
No.
The Bolts roster is going to remain largely intact next season, meaning the team's draft picks won't be playing at the NHL level anytime soon.
That said, it's always nice to have more champagne. I don't think anyone's going to argue with that. Or in this case, picks. The Lightning traded out of the first round of the draft, but made 9 selections on day 2, so a big day for them. They took center Mitchell Stevens and defenseman Matt Spencer in the second round. Stevens scored 22 goals for the OHL's Saginaw Spirit last season. He's drawn comparisons to Ryan Callahan, so there you go. Spencer, a right-handed blue liner, racked up 30 points as a member of the Petersburg Petes. Hey, Mitch, what's it like to be a Bolt?
Well, it's amazing. They had a great cup run, but you know it's gonna be a good experience. They have a lot of young guys. It's gonna be. I'm just lost for words right now. They've proven what they can do, and that's why they're there. And now it's going to be my opportunity to come in and prove my worth, I think.
All right, the hits just keep on coming. Dennis Jan goes to the Bolts, number 64 overall, as an 18-year-old. An 18-year-old, Paul. He was better than a point-per-game player in the Quebec Major Junior League.
And he could beat us up in a fight.
And if he needs to throw punches, there you go. You can see it. The Lightning took center Anthony Cirelli 8 picks later. He does not turn 18 for a couple of weeks, but he's already a hero in Oshawa, where Cirelli clinched the Memorial Cup with an overtime goal. Free anything he wants in Oshawa.
Forever.
Forever.
As for when we might see those guys skating with the big club, patience, young grasshopper. Last year's roster isn't going anywhere, and all 4 are 18 or younger. These are just kids, Dan. Tampa Bay made 5 other selections.
So's the NHL team.
That's true. With increasingly difficult to pronounce names, you can try to read them yourself there on the screen. Overall, General Manager Steve Yzerman was pleased with his team's haul.
We're very happy how it went, and time will tell if they develop into NHLers, but today we walk out very optimistic. You know, it's just all part of the process. Hopefully these young guys keep coming in and, you know, gives you options moving forward.
All right, there is more to come on Super Sports Sunday.
Yeah, when we come back, rule changes in the NHL, more trouble for Warren Sapp, and a little T-swizzle. We are never, ever getting back together. I'm just kidding. We're back after 2 minutes of commercials.
From Warren Sapp to Taylor Swift.
My wife and daughters who are at home, I hope watching, if the Kardashians aren't on, they're probably watching this. Hi, guys.
Are the Kardashians on right now, Dan?
I don't know the answer. That's
they're probably on. I'll check my DVR. Thanks for watching us anyway. Welcome back to Super Sports Sunday. We begin our yet-to-be-named debate segment with the NHL Awards. You just saw Steve Yzerman, new General Manager of the Year. But what about the rest of the show, Dan? Was this appointment viewing?
This show, I hate to say, I love the NHL, but NHL productions are not good. The little draft they do for the All-Star game, I didn't like that. That's dragged out. And this was a disaster, Paul. Guys,
it's always a disaster
on the red carpet. Come on.
No other league has a show like this for a reason, because there's no way to make it good. These are like E-list celebrities. You know who the host was?
Rob
Riggle.
Yeah,
Can you name something Rob Riggle's been in? He sold helicopters in that Step Brothers movie. He was at the Catalina wine mixer, Rob Riggle.
Exactly.
This reminds me of like old NHL, like before the last lockout, when the Coyotes had a playoff game push for a Yanni concert.
Well, Yanni would fill Vegas any day, Rob. Keep on, guys, Paul. NHL approved changes for next season, including 3-on-3 overtime. Now, instead of the 4-on-4, you'll get 5 minutes of 3-on-3 before the shootout. What are your thoughts on that?
I like it because I hate the shootout. I hate the skills competition. It devalues the sport. It's gimmicky. The real fans don't like it.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. There was a stint in that Lightning Rangers series. They were 3-on-3, believe it or not, for less than 30 seconds. It looked like hockey practice. And I like open ice with anybody, but you're going to base a win on that. Overtime itself and these rules changes are gimmicks on their own right. Bring back the tie.
I'm in on bring back the ties, but I will say they did something similar in the American Hockey League last season, which is becoming like a testing ground for the NHL. 75% of the time, the games were decided before the shootout. Now, since the shootout was implemented in 2005, 13% of games has ended in a shootout. That's a huge percentage. Those loser points are screwing up the standings.
I do agree that the shootout is not the way to settle it. Not for 2 points. No.
All right. Speaking of not knowing how to settle things properly, more Warren Sapp making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Former Bucks DT charged with 3 misdemeanor counts of abuse this week after allegedly biting his girlfriend's finger and stepping on her face. Dan?
I'm not really sure how deep we need to go on
That's
this
a good
now.
sound effect.
This is headlines
Good job, Mike.
gone bad to worse, and the only people speaking out for this poor guy are now players who, for whatever reason, are still hanging out with this guy. They feel for him as a person now. How many chances do you get, Paul? The prostitution solicitation in February at the Super Bowl, that got him fired from the NFL Network, and now this coming out. How many chances and how many times do we have to be told we owe you something? We don't owe you anything at this point. I said this last week, one of the topics, can you just get out of bed in the morning and follow the laws like citizens and then go back to bed at the end of the night and have money in your pocket?
I covered the Titus Young thing when it was going on. It's the same thing, Dan. It's just sometimes you got to learn lessons over and over again.
Is down. Hey, over 25 years now after he was banned from baseball, Pete Rose has applied for reinstatement.
Yeah, go Pete.
Except outside the lines, the ESPN program reported this week Rose bet on baseball games when he was a player. In a notebook acquired by the program, Rose allegedly lost $25,000 betting on basketball and Reds games. A lot of cash.
I say you still need to put him in the hall. And we could talk about this all night, and this show is only a half an hour, so we can't do it. But you want to laud A-Rod for his accomplishments, and I know the MLB hasn't paid a ton of attention to his 3,000 hits or whatever. But at some point, all those guys that use steroids are going to end up in the Hall of Fame. Just because Rose is a bad person and isn't very good at sports betting doesn't mean you keep him out of the game. He's got the most hits of all time, man. He confessed to betting in 2004. He said then he only did it as a manager. But as my favorite band Poison once said, every rose has its thorns, Dan.
Hey, at least he signs autographs still in Cooperstown.
I've been to 2 Poison concerts. According to Dan's homepage, PerezHilton.com, and a few other sites.
That's right.
There are rumors that Taylor Swift could headline next year's Super Bowl, but don't get too excited. It looks like those are only rumors because the Super Bowl is sponsored by Pepsi, and Swift has a deal with Diet Coke.
Well, Taylor Swift makes the world move, apparently. She got this whole iTunes thing thrown out, not getting paid or whatever it was for the free trial period. You know, bring her on. What is she going to do? You know, give me a break.
I want to see her there.
The negotiating part is that it used to be an honor to be asked.
I want to see more Coke wars. I want to see the soda pop wars again, Dan. This is a way to bring it back because Taylor Swift gets what she wants.
Bring back Up With People from the first one.
They've got bad blood, and I don't think that they can solve it.
Absolutely. All right, stick around. Nice work tonight, Paul. On the other side of the break, our play of the week. You're watching Super Sports Sunday. Look at him go.
Popped up. Donaldson will go to the rail. He'll get there, dives in and caught it. Oh, what a play!
You talk about catching some rays.
Like row 3, I think.
Josh Donaldson, no regard for his own life or anyone around him, vaulting into the stands during Wednesday night's game against Tampa Bay. That catch kept a perfect game intact at the time. It is our Super Sports Sunday play of the week. Not too shabby, eh?
No, that was good. You can really get hurt.
You could. Everyone could get hurt in that scenario.
Blue Jays fans around him, though. That was kind of odd.
Yeah, well, they all embraced him. They got a net out for him. On the other side of the coin, I've got something that's not nearly as graceful as that.
No. This actually, it's much better, though. Dave Sayers, a golfer in a 24-hour-long charity tournament at Woolstanton Golf Club in Staffordshire, ended his day in unplanned fashion.
Dave, you got some Vaseline. Just stay in that position.
At first, I was looking at the pants. Then I realized, oh, that's his head is in the garbage can, and he put his golf clubs in there.
Yeah.
Because he played. I know this feeling, not this feeling. I know what it's like wanting to put your golf clubs in the garbage can. First of all, don't do it. Second of all, don't stick your head in there. There he's out.
They said he had one too many drinks. He got his head stuck in the trash can, and then eventually his friends found some Vaseline and were able to pry his head out.
That's the celebrity golf tournaments for you. And that's why we're never invited.
I hear it's a trashy course.
Exactly.
Thanks for watching.
We'll see you next Sunday. We'll try harder, try to speak more English.
More English, better, do better.